music mogul Sean Combs just pleaded not guilty to 3 federal charges. Combs is accused of running a criminal enterprise that threatened and sexually abused dozens of women. Attorneys on both sides are right now making arguments about whether or not Combs should be held before trial. And good afternoon to you. I'm Liz Cho.
I'm Sandra Bookman in today for David. That sprawling new indictment paints a disturbing picture of an alleged criminal enterprise run by Combs. Federal prosecutors say he used his business empire to commit crimes, including sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice.
We've seen cracks in the facade over the years, with 11 civil complaints filed against Combs, accusing him of verbal, emotional, physical, and sexual abuse. In November, he settled a lawsuit with his ex-girlfriend, Cassandra Ventura. Months later, this video surfaced of Combs assaulting her in a hotel back in 2016.
And then earlier this year, law enforcement raided homes owned by Combs in Miami and L.A. and seized a cache of weapons and digital recordings, along with other evidence.
And then last night, Combs was arrested at the Park Hyatt Hotel right here in Manhattan. He was seen eating dinner hours earlier and just yesterday posing with his family for a photo in Harlem. The attorney defending Combs still standing firm that Combs is innocent.
We have live team coverage this afternoon. We're going to begin with Eyewitness News reporter Darla Miles in Lower Manhattan with the details from today's court appearance. Darla?
Sandra, what should normally be a routine first court appearance, as you and Liz well know, has now turned into an hour-and-a-half-long bail hearing, deciding whether or not the music mogul will be released with $50 million bail or held without bail. Now, federal prosecutors say because of the extent of his alleged crimes and because of his means, they compared him to R. Kelly and Jeffrey Epstein, saying, and he also has a pattern of threatening witnesses. However, an attorney for Combs is there arguing as we speak. He wants a $50 million bail set. He says Diddy came to New York City to voluntarily turn himself in, that he's trying to sell his plane, and that he also surrendered his passport and the passports of his 5 children, and he says that should count for something in setting bail.
Today, he's been indicted and will face justice in the Southern District of New York. Second, we are not done.
The multi-million-dollar empire built by Sean Diddy Combs, which include Bad Boy Entertainment, Ciroc Vodka, and Revolt TV, according to federal prosecutors, was used to bankroll a racketeering conspiracy led by the 54-year-old music mogul.
The indictment alleges that between at least 2008 and the present, Combs abused, threatened, and coerced victims to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct.
The 3-count indictment for racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, and transportation across state lines for prostitution describes highly orchestrated performances of sexual activity, referred to as freak-offs, when Diddy is accused of plying his victims with drugs to keep them obedient and compliant, during which time he hit, kicked, threw objects at, and dragged victims at times by their hair.
The freak-offs sometimes lasted days at a time, involved multiple commercial sex workers, and often involved a variety of narcotics, such as ketamine, ecstasy, and GHB.
Federal prosecutors say this surveillance video from March 2016, where his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, is seen trying to leave a hotel room, was during one of Diddy's freak-offs. Today, the U.S. Attorney's Office released pictures of one of 3 AR-15s confiscated during March raids at Diddy's homes in Los Angeles and Miami, which they allege were used to threaten and coerce victims and staff members into silence.
The indictment also alleges other acts of violence undertaken by Combs and others, including violence against witnesses to his abuse, kidnapping, and arson. The indictment alleges that on more than one occasion, Combs carried or brandished firearms to intimidate and threaten victims and witnesses.
Diddy's attorney maintains his innocence, saying he's keeping his head up and vowing to fight all the federal charges against him.
His spirits are good. He's confident. He is dealing with this head on.
Now, I was in court when Diddy arrived around 2:30 this afternoon. He had his hands behind his back, not in handcuffs. He was wearing a black T-shirt and gray sweatpants. He is listening very intently to the arguments of his attorney, recommending that that bail be set on $50 million and that he's able to walk out of the federal courthouse here today. 3 of his sons and other family members and friends appear to be in court today. Eyewitness News reporter Kimberly Richardson is still inside as those arguments are going on. She'll have the latest coming up tonight on Eyewitness News at 5. For